In this video, I will show some of the improvements of the new version of Brain Trainer. In this new version, most of the improvements were on the backstage of the program. So the key word here is stability, and most of the issues that were making the program freeze during some protocols were now corrected. So it's much more stable than before. And there are some improvements in new options that are available now as well. So first of all, let me show you some changes on the ATG design. The ATG design has a new option here that allows you to select what's the type of feedback you want. I mean, on which parameter the feedback will be based on. So you can use a feedback based on direction. That means, for example, that when the graph is supposed to be going up and it's actually going up, then you get a positive feedback. And if the graph starts to go down during the up training, then you get a negative feedback, and vice versa for the down training. There's the option of feedback based on threshold. In this case, the feedback will be based in the moving target that appears here. So when the ATG ratio is, let's talk about the up training, okay? When the ATG is going up and it gets above the moving target, then you get a positive feedback. And if it goes below the moving target, you get a negative feedback. The moving target is a parallel graph here that increases its value when the ATG ratio is going up, and it decreases when ATG ratio is going down. So it's some kind of adaptive target. And there's a third option that is feedback based on AI. AI means the attention index that is measured by this bar here. So in this kind of feedback, you get a positive feedback when the AI is above 0.7, and a negative feedback when it's below 0.7. That role of being above or below is valid for both the up training and the down training. Every time, in both types of training, we expect the attention index to be at higher values, never at low values. And in the other two options here, the feedback will depend on which kind of training you're doing, if you're training up or down. Well, another new option here in the ATG design is the shadow feedback. It works just like the shadow for the EEG, and there were some improvements in the shadow function. First of all, sometimes the shadow was not receiving data from the program correctly, and that was improving now. When I click Show Shadow, it will open the shadow window. I'm not sure if this window will appear in this video because some screen captures do not capture the shadow window properly. And as before, when you want the shadow to start receiving the streaming data, you click Fix Shadow, and the shadow will be fixed. And when you want to close the shadow, now you can simply click Hide Shadow, and it will be closed. So it's working better than it was before. This shadow window can be resized, it can be maximized, and in the other version, there was a problem when someone was using only one screen. If you don't have the second screen plugged to the computer, then there was a problem because you couldn't click on Fix Shadow when the window was maximized. So now there's a solution for that. You can click this clock button here. It's going to count down 5 seconds. And after that, the fixed shadow option will be automatically activated. So I click here, it's counting 5 seconds. I can maximize it. And now the shadow is over all my screen. And I can click through the shadow to unfix it. And I get total control on the shadow. Well, those were some of the main improvements in this new version. And I'm going to record another video showing some of the functions of the video player and explaining all the details you have to know about how to use the video player feedback. Thank you.